Hey guys, welcome to MNMM PTE NAATI. Today's video is a short series video that we are making on different topics, and today's topic is Summarize Spoken Text. One of the most important topics of your PTE exam, I would say, your very first topic of your listening section, which gives marks to your listening section and writing section because you are listening to the audio, you're writing notes, and then you're writing down the summary. So let us see those few tips, note taking tips, how to write summary tips so that we can get a very good score in Summarize Spoken Text. Let's get started. Before we dive deep in the topic, all I want to share is if you want to get in touch with us and discuss about your PTE preparation or your NAATI Hindi, Gujarati or Punjabi preparation, you can get in touch with us using Instagram or Facebook Messenger. The links for Instagram and Facebook Messenger are in the description below, or you can simply search MNMM NAATI and you'll see us. So first I want to share a few tips about Summarize Spoken Text. So when you listen to the audio and you're taking notes, there are a few things that you need to keep in mind so that you don't struggle a lot with Summarize Spoken Text. Number one is we highly recommend that you should use the template. So we do have the template of Summarize Spoken Text. We will attach the link in the description below. You can download the template from there as well. But this is our template that we recommend for Summarize Spoken Text. Apart from template, we all are aware that the summary has to be between 50 to 70 words is the word limit that Pearson has given us. But if you want a good score, we would recommend you to write down the summary between 60 to 69 words. That will give you a very good score. All right. The next thing that I want to cover is whenever you are writing the summary, the one paragraph summary that you write, it should be grammatically correct. So you have to make sure that every single sentence you write, you should write it grammatically correct. Your sentences in the summary that you've written, they should make sense. And before you click submit, before you move on to the next question, you have to make sure that you proofread your summary. You read every single word so that if you have made any errors like spelling mistakes, you can correct it before you move on so that you don't lose your scores in writing section. So this is the template that we recommend for Summarize Spoken Text. It has 4 sentences. When you use the template, when you write down the summary, you have to make sure that you write it as one paragraph only. So the summary will not be 4 points or 4 different paragraphs. It has to be one paragraph of 4 sentences. So which means you'll put 4 full stops and you'll write it as one paragraph only. Now, because we have 4 sentences in our template, we have to aim to write down 4 meaningful phrases or sentences from the audio that we listen. So what you can do is before the audio starts, just make 4 bullet points and be ready so that you're mentally aware that yes, I have to take 4 phrases or 4 sentences. Now, when you're taking notes from the audio, if the sentence is too big, you don't need to write down the complete sentence. You can write half of the sentence, but whatever half of the sentence you have written for your notes, that part of the sentence should make sense. So you can either write down the complete sentence from the audio, or if you're writing a part of the sentence, it is called a phrase. Phrase means group of words. It can be any number of words. Just make sure that whatever you're writing should have a sense, should make some sense. There should be meaning that you can extract out of the sentence you have written. You cannot just write down any random phrase or sentence that has no meaning, right? So we will play an audio, try and take 4 meaningful phrases or sentences. I will also share what notes I have taken, and then I will also share how to write down the summary using your notes and the template together. All right, let's play the audio.
There are 118 species of weaver birds, and most live in sub-Saharan Africa. While some species live on the open savanna and eat mostly seeds, others live in forests and prefer feasting on insects. Researchers looked at studies done on different species of weaver birds to examine the relationships between their diets, habits, and social behavior. They found that seed-eating birds living in the open savanna tended to forage in groups, nest in large colonies, and have multiple mates per breeding season. The insect-eating, forest-dwelling birds, on the other hand, were more likely to forage and nest alone and have a single mate per season. These divergent social behaviors are likely influenced by their different diets and habitats. Working together makes it easier for birds that eat seeds out on the savanna to find spots with a large supply of seeds. There's also safety in numbers out on the open savanna, further incentivizing flocking. Their polygamous breeding may be a result of the smaller number of nesting sites in the savanna. By contrast, working together to find food wouldn't help forest-dwelling, insect-eating weaver birds as much, since insects tend to be more widely dispersed. There are a lot more suitable nesting sites in the forest, so these birds don't need to live in colonies, and monogamy makes sense for birds with more solitary lives. It seems that birds that eat bugs don't like to be bugged.
Alright, so obviously in exam also the audio will be played once only. You cannot replay the audio, so you have to be very sure that when you're taking notes you have that speed. Now, while listening to the audio, a lot of students, they start panicking because they are in rush to complete 4 phrases or sentences. What I would recommend is try to aim for 1 phrase or sentence at a time. Don't think whether or not will I be able to finish 4 sentences, 4 phrases. What if I'm not able to finish before the audio ends? How will I be able to write down the summary? Don't think too much and panic, because it is anyways not helping you. What I would rather do is, when I listen to a sentence, I would focus on writing that sentence first in my note. Let the audio play, let the speaker do its job. My job is, I've understood a sentence, let me finish writing it first. When I have written my first sentence, then I will start listening to the audio, and whatever is being played at that moment, I will try and see if I can understand what they are saying, and I can pick the next sentence that I understand and start writing the sentence number 2. Similarly, when you're writing sentence number 2, you've understood a sentence, focus on completing sentence number 2. While writing, don't listen to the audio. Don't multitask. It is not advisable here. Do one thing at a time. So when you understand a sentence, first write it down. When you finish writing, then listen to the audio again. Again, as in, obviously it's not paused for you, but whatever is being played at that moment when you have finished writing the sentence, that moment try and see if you can understand what's happening in the audio. Pick up a sentence and write it down in your note taking, right? This is how you do one thing at a time, one after the other. Listening, writing, and then again listening, again writing. That's how you take 4 phrases, meaningful phrases or sentences. Let me share you 4 meaningful phrases or sentences that I have written. Now, I have not written something which is very difficult. So there were a lot of difficult words in the audio. Don't think if you write down only difficult words you get a good score. No. If you have written a phrase or a sentence, no matter how easy you have written, but it is meaningful and it is from the audio, you will get a good score. Let me share 4 phrases that I have written. First one, there are 118 species of weaver birds. The very first line, okay? And then they were saying some difficult names from Africa, savanna and all that. I have not written those words. If I'm not sure of the spelling, I will never attempt writing those words, because if I write wrong spellings, I will lose my score in writing section. I would rather write something that I'm sure of, that I know the spelling, I know what they said, and I will only write that bit. So that was a very long sentence, but I just took half of it and I've written half of it. There are 118 species of weaver birds. Now, does this make sense? Yes. So my note taking is okay. Next, these divergent social behaviors are likely influenced by their different diets and habitats. Again, makes sense. Their polygamous breeding may be a result of the smaller number of nesting sites. Again, it makes sense. And the last one, there are a lot more suitable nesting sites in the forest. Okay. Now, I have written 4 phrases, sentences from the audio. A lot of you might be panicking and thinking, I couldn't take 4 sentences, I only could take 1 or maybe 2 or maybe 3, but not 4. That's okay. It will come with time, it will come with practice. make sure you at least practice 5 questions a day. If you do that, for the first week, just focus on taking notes. Don't think of writing summary, because if you are good in note taking, you will automatically write a good summary, because summary is nothing else but you've memorized a template and your note taking is good. So now your summary will be good. So first week of preparation, just focus on taking notes for Summarize Spoken Text. Do 5 questions a day. By the end of first week, you'll be master in taking notes. And then once you feel comfortable after 1 week of taking notes, if some of you feel that no, 1 week is not that enough, I need 2 weeks just to focus on note taking, take 2 weeks. Don't rush, because once your note taking is good, writing summary is not a very challenging task, provided your note taking is good, right? Now, what I have done is, I have used the template that I shared and I have exactly copy pasted the notes that I have written. So the first sentence from the template, the lecture is primarily focusing on, and then the first sentence of my note taking, which was focusing on 118 species of weaver birds. So again, when you combine the template and your note taking, you have to make sure that that combination result makes sense and it should be grammatically correct. So if you want to make minor changes of removing or adding any word, preposition, it is okay to do that, because ultimately you have to make sure that whatever you read makes sense, right? So the lecture is primarily focusing on 118 species of weaver birds. Does it make sense? Yes. Tick. Done. Second sentence. In addition to this, the lecture also highlighted, this is template part. Now, note, divergent social behaviors that are likely influenced by their different diets and habitats. So I've combined my template second sentence and note taking second sentence. Does it make sense? Yes. Is it grammatically correct? Yes. Perfect. Move on to the next one. There is also an emphasis that their polygamous breeding may result from the smaller number of nesting sites. Again, combined the third sentence of the template and third sentence of my note taking. Grammatically correct, makes sense, all good. Last sentence. In conclusion, the lecture described a lot more suitable nesting sites in the forest. Again, I've combined the fourth sentence of the template and the fourth sentence of my note taking. Combination result, is it making sense? Yes. Is it grammatically correct? Yes. Are the spellings correct? Yes. I can move on to my next question. So please make sure that you tick these boxes before you move on. That is your summary between 60 to 69 words? Yes, my summary is 64 words. Good. Is your summary making sense? Yes, tick. Spellings correct? Tick. Grammatically correct? Tick. And I have written 4 sentences, where all the 4 sentences I have written a phrase or a sentence from the audio. I have not created my own content. Whatever content I have written is from the audio. I have used the template so that my summary is in a sensible structure. I've done everything that I should be doing. That's when I move on and I get a perfect score for Summarize Spoken Text. I get a perfect score, right? So this is what I wanted to share in today's video. Make sure that you practice note taking first, memorize the template, and then practice note taking and writing the summary. With that, I wish you all the luck. If you have any concerns regarding PTE or NAATI, do not hesitate in contacting us on Instagram or Facebook Messenger. We are there to help you, and bye for now.